can we even say that? Where filters are off and laughs are allowed and absolutely nothing is professional advice. No, seriously. Everything we say is based on personal opinions, messy life experiences, and the occasional, did I really just say that moment? Listener discretion is highly advised, especially if you're easily offended or if you're in the car with your mum. We are not responsible for any side eyes, deep thoughts, bad decisions, or sudden bursts of empowerment that may happen after listening. Tune in, have fun, and remember, we're here to spark conversation, not to live your lives for you. Hi, welcome back to Girl Can We Even Say That. I'm your host, Becky, and today I'm here with Rachel.
Hi!
And we're going to deep dive into what it's really like to be a single mum. The highs, the lows, the struggles.
There's a lot.
And we're literally going to ask Rachel a few questions and just kind of like get to know how your struggle was. Obviously, everyone's is so different, but let's hear your experience, and I'm sure people can resonate and listen, and hopefully it helps some people as well.
Hopefully.
Okay, let's dive in. First of all, we start off with Would You Rather.
Yeah.
So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Would you rather your ex suddenly become a perfect co-parent or disappear forever with zero drama?
Oh, that's a hard one. My ex is mad. I think for my children, I'd like him to become the best co-parent.
Yeah.
But I also, because of the way things have been, I would like him to just disappear.
So like, this is really difficult.
Yeah, this is really. I would go with for my children, the best co-parent.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's sweet. I agree with you, to be fair.
Yeah.
When it comes to, obviously I haven't got children, but when it comes to having kids, like obviously you put them first always.
100%.
So yeah, makes sense. I like that. Guys, let me know what you guys said. I bet they were a little bit more toxic.
Yeah.
I bet you guys are toxic. You're liars. Maybe we're lying. So, how did you feel when you first saw them two lines?
So obviously my two pregnancies are completely different. With my firstborn, I was over the moon. I was always told I'd never have children because I've got polycystic ovaries and endo.
Okay.
So I was told from the age of 16, if you want children, you need to try now. And I was a bit like, no. So as soon as I found my first pregnancy test, I was shocked. Like,
I bet.
it was good, but it was like a scared shock.
How old was you?
23.
Okay, so yeah.
So I just got married and we just literally tried and I fell straight away. Yeah, it was.
I bet you was like, doctor's wrong.
Yeah, I was like, what? Like, what? Why did I just go for that operation? But with my daughter, it was a bit of a different story. Like, although we tried for her because we wanted a sibling for my son, it was different because I'd had the miscarriages in between, and yeah, it was a bit harder. So finding out I was pregnant with her, it was a bit of it comes as a shock.
Yeah.
And then obviously it all then
spirals
out of there.
Yeah. Take me back with the miscarriages.
Yeah.
So how many miscarriages did you have in between?
So with my husband, I only had one, and it was a chemical miscarriage.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know much about that. You're literally
very early on.
Yeah, you're pregnant for like 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like, it's nothing. And that was quite traumatic because I knew I was pregnant and I knew something wasn't right. And I ended up actually in hospital because I knew it wasn't right.
Yeah.
And they said to me, they told me in the corridor that I was making it up and I wasn't pregnant.
What?
And they was like, we've done your bloods, you're not pregnant. I was like, yeah, but the pregnancy test doesn't lie. Like,
yeah.
I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And then when I spoke to my GP, they was like, no, this is the problem. Like, you are pregnant, but your body hasn't, like your HCG levels haven't risen to the point where we can say, yes, this is viable.
Oh, okay.
So that's why then the hospital, I was in the corridor, like in A&E in the corridor. So yeah, that was a bit traumatic. Then obviously after that pregnancy, after my daughter's pregnancy, I then had 5 more miscarriages.
Wow.
So not with my ex-husband, but obviously with another partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. So I've had many.
Wow. How long was that medical?
So I was literally the first couple was only up to 8 weeks, and then the last one was an ectopic, and I was 11
That's
weeks.
really dangerous, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that was horrendous. And I had to have, like a chemotherapy drug, so I had to have that to end the pregnancy, and that is, even though you know that baby's not going to survive, that is the worst thing ever, because it is like a termination.
Yeah.
And it was in COVID, so I had to go through it all on my own, and yeah, that was probably, and that was it. I was like, I'm not trying again. I'm done.
Did they say where you tried when you was a lot younger, obviously, and then it worked out for you? When you got older, was these miscarriages to do with your polycystic, or is it totally separate? Or did you not know?
I was sterilised after my daughter because I was so ill. I was sterilised, and
so you can't have any more children.
I couldn't, and then I had to pay $4,500 to be reversed. So obviously, when they sterilise you, they cut your tubes.
Okay.
They can repair them, and sometimes it works successfully. But at this point, they cut mine, and it hadn't. When they tried to fuse them back together, they hadn't fused properly. So obviously, the egg's going, but it's getting stuck.
Yeah.
And that's where the miscarriage is coming about. So it could have done with my endometriosis and my polycystic ovaries, but the higher chances is that my fallopian tubes were so damaged it couldn't survive anyway.
So why did you have to have the operation?
So obviously, I was sterilised because of how ill I was with postnatal depression.
Yeah.
And my ex-husband was like, you either get sterilised or I leave and take children. And then to be unsterilised.
So he basically kind of forced you into it, basically.
Yeah, basically. I didn't want to be sterilised. I was 27.
You was going through postnatal depression, and your husband at the time convinces you that sterilisation is the answer.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I have a major thing with the NHS because no one actually, if you look on the NHS website, it says before a woman is successful in having it, you have to have therapy.
That's what I thought.
And I wasn't offered.
That's literally what I thought, that it was a lot more difficult to do. It wasn't just like you can...
1 hour appointment and then that's it.
Yeah, I know it is more like that with men.
Yeah, of course, because they can be reversed as well.
Yes, but I thought with women it was a lot stricter. No. I did not realise that.
Yeah, and it was horrendous. The surgery was horrendous. Like, the ladies that have been through labour will understand the pain of that. And then obviously to be sterilised, it is like your whole insides are being ripped out once you're awake. Like, it was awful. And I tried to talk to the NHS for ages to say to them, look, this wasn't what I wanted. I was really in the pits of depression, and no one helped me. And then it was like, well, tough.
Wow. Through your whole pregnancy, did you have a lot of support with you?
My first pregnancy,
Okay.
My first pregnancy was like, everyone was so excited. Obviously, I'm the only child, so everyone was there rooting. My second pregnancy, no, I'd fallen out with his family, so I didn't have. They wasn't very supportive anyway, but that little support they had was beneficial when I had my son. And then my ex-husband had a serious accident at work. He fell 25 foot from a roof and broke his pelvis.
Wow.
And I think this is the start of my prenatal depression.
Yeah.
And he was rushed to hospital, and I was told he wasn't going to survive. So obviously pelvises, once they break, they can bleed. And I think that was the hardest part, because obviously then I was pregnant with my girl and then having to look after him and my son at the same time. It was just chaotic. And although, bless my mum, I love my mum to pieces, she tried, but my mum's got a very hard job herself.
What does your mum do?
She's a social worker. She's high up.
Wow.
Okay. So she's looking after lots of children, lots of members of staff. Like, sometimes she's not coming home until like 10, 11 o'clock at night. She ain't going to want to pick my shit up. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I had support, but not a lot during that second pregnancy.
Yeah. I find that I hear a lot people say that. The first one, everyone's so excited, everyone's like, oh baby, I'm a new baby. And then the second one, everyone drops off.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, okay, where were all these people from before?
Yeah, like friends, you lose.
Yeah.
When you become a mum, your friendship group just changes.
Mm.
Like, I lost everyone because I was the only one out of the friendship that was having babies young.
Yeah.
They was all going on holidays, like girls' weekends. I've not done that. Even now at 34, I've not been on a holiday, like, because my life has been dedicated to kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. It must be so hard. What was the birth like?
My son's was traumatic, like the worst birth, I think. Well, for me, obviously there are other people that have had worse.
Oh wow.
But I wanted to water birth.
Was it one of those things that the pregnancy was good and the birth was bad? Because I've heard that.
Yeah, I had really bad sickness with my boy. Not physical, but like the nausea.
Yeah.
It was always at night. So yeah, my pregnancy was fine. I used to get quite a few infections and things like that. But yeah, apart from that, perfect. But the birth, no one prepared me for the birth. Like, I was so naive. I went in, I was like, yeah, it's going to be so easy.
Yeah.
Like, and I walk in and I'm like, yeah, maybe not. I was induced with both my children. So that probably didn't help either. And I remember going in and I wanted water birth and they was like, yeah, it's fine, the pool's ready, like, get in. And I was pushing, I was thinking, this kid ain't coming out. Like, I know I ain't had a baby before, but I know this kid ain't coming out. Like, he's meant to be coming out, right?
Did you have chance?
I was given pepidine.
Okay.
As high as a kite, absolutely loved
Love
it. And I was in the water, and they was like, right, we need to check you because you are pushing and there's nothing happening. And I swear to God, this kid had turned sideways.
Oh,
so he was coming out with his bum and his back at the same same way.
That's dangerous, isn't it?
It's really dangerous. So they was like, right, no, it's not breech. No, it just turned. Like,
oh, okay.
So he won't come in feet. Feet is breech.
Oh, my bad.
And obviously he won't come in heads. Like, he was literally
so like, oh my God, he was like, oh wow.
Like, his bum would have come out first.
Oh my God.
So it was like
a pretzel.
Yeah. And it was like, he will rip you apart. Like, we can't do this. So I had to get out of the water, and they was like, you're not allowed water birth now because it's past the complication.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was like, for God's sake, I really wanted water birth.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I wanted.
I got on the bed and I was freezing. So obviously, there's no time. And it was like, right, if he doesn't move, we're going to have to manually move him, which means putting their hands manually in me and move him.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, this can't happen. Like, no way can this happen. And fortunately, they made me walk back into the room that I was in, and he'd moved back. So yeah. That was traumatic. Evie flew out.
Oh really? Easy man.
Evie was a couple of pushes and she flew out.
So Evie's pregnancy, what was that like?
Hard because obviously I was dealing with all of that I had already been stressed with, obviously looking after my ex-husband, having to bath him, clean him, like toilets, everything. Like, so I was literally, it was literally.
So literally had to learn how to do everything again.
Yeah, like.
That was used as obviously main carer.
Yeah, I literally I had a toddler and a husband that I needed to use as work with as a toddler because he couldn't do anything. And
you was pregnant.
And I had morning sickness with her, like severe, couldn't eat, couldn't drink. Like it was traumatic.
Wow.
So yeah, for the first.
So with your son, you just had a little bit of sickness?
Yeah, I weren't sick. It was nausea.
Oh, you wasn't sick?
No, so I felt sick all the time.
That's what I had. Yeah, I just felt sick all the time, but I wasn't really actually
I'd
sick.
rather have been sick than have that.
Yeah, that was frustrating.
It was awful, yeah. But
with Evie, it was sick all the time. Yeah.
Only in the morning. So
okay.
So it was from as soon as I opened my eyes to probably lunchtime.
Okay.
But I wouldn't even need to eat. Like, I'd be feeding my son and being sick because I'm feeding him and I didn't like the smells. Like it was mental, absolutely mental.
So with Evie's birth, it was a lot better, wasn't it?
Yeah.
More straightforward.
Yeah.
What did that day look like when your waters broke, or did your waters
I was induced again.
You was induced again.
Yeah. So I had SPD, which is where your pelvis separates.
Okay.
So I have to be induced. So I was induced with her. She was born early because they noticed at 38 weeks, she had a heart problem. So at 39 weeks, I had to be induced that she could be checked and taken away to special care unit.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I think that's probably where some of the postnatal depression come in.
Yeah.
I knew, obviously, before having that, I had prenatal depression.
Yeah.
But then after her birth, she was taken away and I went out to see her for hours. And I think that didn't, knowing that I wasn't well originally, they shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
So that was quite traumatic, but her birth was just so amazing. I went in.
There?
Yeah.
So he was better at this point.
Yeah, he recovered within like 3 months. It was amazing. He didn't need surgery, nothing.
That's amazing.
It was amazing. Seeing as he was mangled, like he was black and blue. Like he had tubes coming out of him. Like obviously they were draining blood. He had a collapsed lung. Like he's so lucky to be alive. It's unreal. But yeah, he was there. We went in, got induced. I knew I was pushing in the ward because you got to go into a ward before you go to the delivery room.
Yeah.
And I knew I was pushing. I was like, "No, you're not." And I was like, "No, I am. Like, I know
I
I'm pushing.
I've done this before.
I know I'm pushing.
I've done this before, people."
No, but it's only been like an hour, and I was like, "I'm telling you, it's coming." And they laid me on the bed, and I was like, "Oh, her head's there. We need to go." And I remember sitting on the wheelchair, like legs open, like bum in the air. So I'm thinking, this baby's gonna come out. And I think it was like 3 pushes and she was out. Like, it was mental. Absolutely mental.
Oh my god. That is quick.
It was quick. It was quick.
So why did they take her away then?
So she had, I can't remember what they called it. Something to do with her heartbeat. And it would drop a beat. Every beat it would drop. So when she was born, they was like, we need to get this checked, like, because when she was obviously in my tummy, they couldn't really hear it properly. They didn't know what was going on. So yeah, they took her away and she went into a special care unit. And I just remember just sitting there thinking, all these mums around me have got their babies, and there's me like, I wanted to breastfeed, I couldn't. I wanted to.
How long was she away from you?
It was probably a good 6 hours, 7 hours.
That's really traumatic. You literally just give birth.
Yeah.
You go through this whole pregnancy. The only thing you want to do is hold your baby.
Yeah. I think I literally held it for about 20 minutes. And then, because I wanted to breastfeed, they was like, get in the shower and it'd bring your milk in. So I remember getting in the shower and trying to bring my milk in, obviously, and it didn't. And then I come out and it's no fault of his own because he was doing as he was told. But they told my ex-husband that he needed to feed the baby. And I had brought bottles with me. But obviously I was so adamant because I knew I was unwell. I wanted to breastfeed.
Yeah, and have that bond.
And he was feeding her a bottle. Not a normal, like, do you know the little made-up ones you get? And I just broke down and I was like, you knew I wanted to breastfeed.
Did he know that?
He did, but he was trying to say, they were saying her sugars were low, so she needed feeding there and then. Which is, obviously, I get that, but at the same time, I'm like, everyone knew. It was in my birth plan. Everyone knew I wanted to breastfeed.
Come get me straight away. Come down.
You told me to get in the shower.
Come get me.
You told I was in the bed's there. My ex-husband was here, and I was in the shower there. Why did no one say nothing? Yeah.
It's all these things that have added up. Yeah. So it's not like just one thing. It's just like all of these different things to postnatal depression, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like so many different avenues of like one thing happens, another thing happens, and this happens. And then one thing, maybe you look at it and might be like, oh, okay, it's not that big of a deal. But then when you add them all together and they all like go onto each other and you're experiencing it, it must be so traumatic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not great.
How was the first few weeks once you come back from the hospital or anything like that?
So I hid. The only person that knew that something was wrong was my ex-husband, and I hid it so well. Like I said, I'm an only child, so me and my mum are very, very close. We talk to each other every day. At this point, my mum was living next door to me, so we would see my mum every day. Like nobody knew anything was wrong, and this is the thing. Like it's so there's so much stigma about having mental health and having a new baby, and everyone expects you to be so happy and in this bubble, and it don't happen that way. Some mums don't get that. Like I knew I had this baby, I knew I needed to look after her, but the feelings wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like obviously, I adore her, and I knew at the time I'd do anything for her. But when you're in them pits of despair, it's not that's not him feeding. So I used to watch the clock. Like, I used to sit there, and as soon as it got to 5 o'clock, I'd know he'd be home within the next 15, 30 minutes, and then I'd drop myself in the bathroom. And he would walk in, and he'd have to pick it all up. It would be, my house was pristine. Like, that's with me, when I'm in my depressed moments, my house is immaculate. My children are dressed immaculate. They're fed. Like, you would never know. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that went on for quite a while. And
so obviously he noticed, because obviously...
He knew anyway, because obviously when I was pregnant, I said, this sounds horrible, but I was like, I don't think I want to do this. And I actually went to doctors at 32 weeks, and I was like, something's not right. Like, I'm having a baby in 8 weeks, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
And they was like, no, you're fine. And I was like, no, I'm really not.
Right, so they just said they're fine and brushed it off. Did they not give you any help at that point?
No, because I was so far gone.
Yeah, but even if they're not going to give you a termination, they still could have been like, okay, so this is clearly, this woman is suffering and struggling, and this can turn into postpartum depression. Clearly you had it free already.
I knew I wanted, this is the mad thing, I knew I wanted her, because I knew she was a girl, I knew I wanted her, but my brain and my body was like, we can't. Like, it's mad. I knew, looking now, I knew I loved her as the moment I found out I was pregnant. But I think, like you said, everything that led up to this caused me to feel differently.
Yeah.
And going to the GP was a big thing for me, because you don't want people to think about that.
It's a big thing, of course.
Mental health is, regardless whether it's postpartum depression, bipolar, anything, it is so stigmatized, even to this day, that it is a big thing to go and say, look, I'm struggling. And for them to brush it off and just be like, well, tough, get on with it.
Yeah.
And then I realised later on in my notes, it was put down in my notes that I had prenatal depression, but no one spoke to me. No midwife said anything, nothing. And that's where that's where the problems start. That's where things go wrong.
Yeah. And it just needs to sort it out, really.
But they're overstretched.
They are.
We're talking like, this was 10 years ago, so we're talking back then it was still overstretched, but not as much as it is now.
Yeah.
But there, people do sit, and this is where things go wrong, and then people go, well, it weren't us. The mum's crazy or whatever.
Yeah. I think that's the problem with it as well, though, the accountability. No one wants to take accountability. And until someone or people take accountability, then nothing's going to get fixed. Because if everyone's saying, it's not me, and just holding their hands and being like, it's not me, no one's fixing the problem.
Yeah.
Regardless if it's you or not, be part of the solution, not the issue.
Yeah.
It's terrible. But out of all of that, you came through it.
Yes.
How did you do it? Like, did you notice it first? Or, like, notice it and then take I know you took that step before, but when it was going on, did you take another step?
So obviously...
Did he say something to your partner, your husband at the time?
No, I think what it was I was just like, this has got to stop. Like, I'm not enjoying life. I was literally living second to second. Like, I wasn't eating. I lost, if you see pictures of me, I looked like my head was superimposed onto my body. I went down to like a size 8. That's tiny for me. And I just kept looking at myself thinking, what are you doing? You've got 2 beautiful children. Like, come on, like, sort it out. So I went back to the GP. At this time, so when Evie was born, she used to just cry, constant. Like, as soon as she opened her eyes, the moment she went to sleep, it would just be crying. And I had to baby carry her. And she ended up back in hospital at 8 weeks. So I think at 8 weeks was my turning point.
Yeah.
Because I was like, she's not well. It turned out she had cow's milk intolerance.
Oh, okay.
She had to go on to special milk, and she had Gaviscon and stuff like that with reflux, colic. All the mums will know that. So I think that was my turning point, and I was like, no, enough's enough now. Like, this has gone on too long. Let's sort it out. And I went on to, I think it was the Telegram I went on to, or Searchling, one or the other. And then I just sorted myself out through there.
How long did it start for you to start to feel better once you got help?
Probably, obviously, they say 6 months it takes for the tablets to work. So I would probably say the first 3 months I noticed a difference.
Okay.
But I also, so I went, I'm not against medication, but I think if you can do it yourself, it's better.
They give you therapy alongside the medication?
No, so they literally just hand out
just handed you medication?
That's what they do. They're like, here, you go in, you've got coffee, and have some antidepressants.
No.
That's how it is at the moment. So yeah, I sought my own therapy, which I've now been in therapy for like on and off for like 10
Love
years.
it, right?
Yeah.
Everyone should be in therapy.
Everyone should be in therapy.
Everyone needs to go to therapy.
Like there's lots of in different lives, like not just in pregnancy or like relationship.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
there's lots that happen in your life that stem back from childhood and stuff like that.
Oh,
like,
God, yeah.
I am
Yes.
the biggest advocate
very
for therapy.
I agree.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
I 100% agree. I think everyone could benefit from it.
100%. 100%. Like, 100%. Like, so yeah, I took the medication, done therapy, and then I found my love for running again. So I always run, but I stopped, obviously. So then you'd see me running around Green Eyes in my little shorts and the kids in the double buggy.
Love that.
And then I was known as a running mum.
Do you run by yourself? Do you run with anyone?
Run by myself.
Okay, do you prefer that?
Yeah. So when it's mad, unless you're a runner, you won't understand, but like, as soon as I'm out running, I'm like, don't think of nothing.
Okay.
My head just goes quiet. I don't hear no, like, oh, you're not a good mum, like, nothing, everything just goes.
Just silence.
And I just run and run and run. And the only thing I think of is, I'm going to die in a minute. I can't breathe, I'm going to die.
I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, that is the shit. And then I'm like, no, you're not a bitch. Like,
Yeah, you've got
this, come on. Like,
love that. That's your little piece.
Yeah, that's my self-care.
Yeah. So when obviously you started getting help, when was the turning point where you was like, I need to do something like to help other people? Because I know you started that charity.
It was pretty quick. So I Googled help near me, and there was none. Like, you have the big ones like P&D and me, like things that I don't know if that's still around no more. But you've got them ones, but they're more general online.
Yeah.
There was no in-person groups, especially in the Dartford area, in the Kent area. So I was like, no, I can't be the only one going through this. Although when you're in it, you're like, there's no one
feel
else.
like
You're like completely on your own. And actually at the time I was in a big group of mums that I'd met with my first pregnancy, and there was 3 of us that were actually having postnatal depression, but no one wanted to talk about it. And then as soon as I started saying, actually, do you know what, like, it takes that one person to say, and then
speak up,
other people come out. So yeah, I Googled and there was nothing, and then I was like, do you know what, I'm doing this. And I literally just started it, and then Mummy on the Men was born.
Love that.
Yeah.
How did you get the name?
I was a mummy and I was trying to mend. I was literally laying in bed one day, the baby was crying, my son was in bed like sourdough, and I was just like, what am I going to do with my life? Like obviously we've had this conversation before, I like helping people, I get joy out of that. And I was like, I'm just sitting here every day, he's going out to work, I'm sitting here bored doing baby shit. So what can I do? And it just come. I was a mummy and I needed to mend. So yeah, Mummy and the Men was born.
How long was it? Is it still going on now?
No, I stopped it because of a toxic ex.
Okay.
He didn't like it, so it stopped. And I got trolled quite a lot, which was quite. It was annoying because I understand men get postnatal depression. I completely get it. I don't take that away from them.
Yeah.
But my point is I don't know what a man's feeling.
Yeah, you're doing it from your.
I'm a woman. I
have
my own hormones, my own feelings. I don't know what's going on in a man's body.
Yeah, of course.
So don't come at me and say to me, well, you're not including them, when it's generally the most people that suffer with postnatal depression are women.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We need to have a little conversation about that toxic ex thing in the next episode.
We've got a few of them.
Yeah, literally. Rachel's going to come on again, and we're going to talk about toxic relationships.
Make sure you have your tissues.
Yeah, tune in, guys, for that one as well. So, one last question to finish off. Do you have any advice for women out there that might be going through postnatal depression, or just being a single mom, or just anything that you might want to give? Any wisdom from your 34 years? It's 33.
No, I'm 34, 35 this year.
Oh yeah.
I am getting old.
No, you're not. Do not play that.
I would say always get help, and just know that it's not you. It's not you. Like, I spent the majority of the early days thinking it was my fault and thinking I shouldn't be a mum. And even now, like I said, my kids are nearly 12 and 10. I still have that mum guilt. I still carry that mum guilt that I wasn't the best mum at that time, but I was doing what I could at that time.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to remember, is that you're doing your best.
Yeah.
You've got to look after yourself, partners, children. Like, it's hard. It's hard. So just take some time. If you need to go for a run in the pissing down rain, go for a run. If you need a glass of wine, like, do you know what I mean? Like, do what you've got to do, because it gets better. It 100% gets better.
So we're going to go on to now some judgmental stereotypes, because, you know, you've been trolled before, so I'm sure you've heard some judgmental shit.
Oh, I have.
Fucking normally from men.
Yes,
Funny
it is,
enough, isn't it?
Yes.
Funny that, isn't it?
Not that we don't hate them, hey?
Oh, no, we don't hate men. It's not all men. No, not all men. Don't worry. I don't think it's everyone. Alright, so people assume you're broke, reckless, or looking for a handout. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, obviously not everyone feels like that, but I do think there are certain stereotypes that people do. And I think as well, I think it's like single mums / it could be like if you're living in a council estate, or single mums / you have two baby daddies. Do you know what I mean? There's stigma.
So much stigma. Normally it's the older generation as well.
Oh yeah.
Like the older generation. It's the same with tattoos. You've got too many tattoos, they look trashy. Like, what's the problem?
Yeah. Literally.
Who's asking you?
Yeah, literally.
I know I'm a good mum, whether I'm a single mum or not, I know I'm a good mum.
Yeah, exactly.
You pay my bills?
You pay my bills? You can't tell me shit.
You gonna babysit?
There's still this outdated idea that if you're not part of a nuclear family, you're somewhat less stable and less than.
Yeah.
I've been hearing a lot about this nuclear family. Have you been hearing about this?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, no one gets into a relationship. No one has children thinking 5 years down the line you're not going to be together.
Yeah,
you're not. But nowadays, in 2025, the majority of children have got stepchildren, like step siblings and stepmoms and stepdads. Like, it's common now, whether that's the right thing or not.
Yeah.
But you've got to think back in the day when all these stigmas come about. You couldn't just leave. You had to, if things were going wrong, you had to put up with it.
Yeah.
It's not like that now. Women have got more of a voice.
And so we fucking should.
Yeah.
The whole thing about nuclear families, I think that is toxic, to be honest with you. Like, the actual nuclear part, like, not as in having, like, a mum and dad together, like, kids, like, that's great. Obviously, everyone wants that. Everyone, like, you know, wants that in their life. But the thing is, if you don't have that, you don't need it. People want that, but you don't need that. Like, as long as well, like, it's better to have parents that are co-parenting really well than it is to be in a toxic, abusive relationship, and the kids are seeing that.
And it's a circle.
And a circle.
They'll just bring it. They'll go on to live like
exactly, because they're going to think that's normal.
Yeah.
They're going to think that's okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need to break down the stigma of, you know, you need to be with the partner or your, like, baby dad or whatever. Like, no, you need to be happy and healthy. That's the thing you need to be.
You're growing that. You in my case, two children their lives are in my hands.
Yeah.
Why would I let them watch me settle for anything less than what I deserve?
Exactly, girl. Okay, you're either you're blamed for, like, where's the dad, or why didn't you try harder to keep the relationship? I feel like the mums are always the ones that are like, so why are you not together? Like, why is it not working out? Even though 9 times out of 10, it's probably the dad's fault.
In my case, it weren't. I hold full responsibility, but like,
not all the time though. I don't know. The majority of the time is a lot. But also, again, actually, I take that back because that is stereotyping. I'm doing it
you're
myself.
doing it, yeah.
I'm doing it myself now. To be fair, I call myself out on it, though, people. But yeah, I just feel like, yeah, I know. I take that back. I'm fully taking that back. Yeah, I stereotype that because you're right. So what was yours then? What was your experience?
No, I can't go into it because my kids are young.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we were both very toxic, and I think the problem with us is we got together so young. We were 14 and 15. So I think that plays a huge part. Like, and then our lives kind of went separate ways. He's in a profession that likes certain things, and I wanted to experience the world a bit. So yeah, it was a bit hard.
Single mums are often portrayed as struggling, desperate, or even irresponsible in the media. Would you say that's correct?
I would, yeah, 100%. As soon as you say you're a single mum, people automatically think I stay at home watching Jeremy Kyle all day.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously it's not on anymore. But like, loose women or something, like that ain't it. Do you know what I mean? Like they automatically think you ain't got a job or you ain't holding your own. Like you're getting hands out from the government.
Yeah,
it ain't like that. It ain't like that. We're in 2025. Women go and work. Mm. I know a lot more single dads that don't work than I do a lot more women, like mums. Mm. And that's that. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there are going to be mums, but with me, I get really passionate about this. Like, don't come. I love it. I want to hear it. Don't come at me saying that it's single mums. You've got people on there that are like, I don't know, wrong ones. Do you know what I mean? Like, they got a job. They just don't want to work. Yeah, they got a job. They just want to. Yeah, like, do you know what I mean? Don't come at me about being a single mum when I'm raising 2 kids. If I want to stay at home and paint my nails or whatever, then so be it. Like, I'm bringing up 2 kids that are going to provide for your society. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't sit there and then, like, crackhead Dave. Like, crackhead Dave down the road. Do you know what I mean? No one's saying to him because he's a crackhead. No one's going to him, oh, like... Yeah, so we laugh at Dave. I'm paying for you. Like, no, you ain't going to say it to me, but why are you saying it to me? Yeah. No. It comes down to the men and women thing, though, doesn't it? Well, yeah, and that, do you know what? 9 times out of 10, again, it is the older generation that are like, well, I went to the war for you, and I'm grateful. I am grateful you've done that. Yeah. But we're now in 2025. Yeah. It's moved on a little bit. It's moved on a little bit. Just a little. But I feel like there definitely is a double standard, though. Yeah. That is definitely very strong. Yeah. Where, like, a dad will do the bare minimum and, like, well, I feel like women do it as well. We're like, oh my god, he looks such a good dad. Like, he's done this and he does this and does this for his kids. But, like, the mum is doing that tenfold. Yeah. And it's just like, well, yeah, that's your job. Yeah. You know my situation. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, one kid goes to their dad. They've got the same dad, obviously. But one kid goes and sees him all weekend and the other don't. And I'm like, well, you've got 2 kids. Yeah. Pull your finger out. Yeah. And then it's like, I'm the bad guy because I'm trying to make that relationship work. That's not you. That's being you being a good mom. You want them to have a relationship. That's not a bad thing. I know, but when people say, like, because then obviously when it first started, this has been going on for 2 years, and when it first happened, like, I used to be like, well, you're not seeing either of them then. If you're not seeing one, you ain't seeing the other. And everyone was like, you can't do that. And then, like, when it started continuing and then people started seeing that it was affecting my daughter, they was like, oh, you should. And I'm like, well, hang on a minute. When I was trying to do it, you were all saying to me, oh, you can't do that. I was doing it to protect my daughter. Yeah. And, like, to try and encourage that relationship. And now I'm in the wrong now for not doing it when you said not do it anyway. Yeah. It's just actually mad, isn't it? But everyone's got an opinion. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone's got a 2 cents of, oh, I think you should do this. Oh, no, do that. Like, everyone's got... But they're entitled to an opinion. Yeah. Everyone is entitled to an opinion. We all have them. But what annoys me is when you don't know the situation, don't get involved. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Have your opinion silently over there. Yeah. Unless you know me, unless you know me and you know my children and you know what's going on, then yeah, I'll take your opinion. I don't have to take it on. Yeah, of course. But I'll listen to your opinion. But don't come at me if you don't know it. Yeah. Literally. That's how it is. So, does your daughter not have any relationship with her? She sees him a couple of hours a week. A couple of hours every other week. Oh, okay. which is heartbreaking because obviously I had this with my dad.
Yeah.
And I've tried so many different things. Like I used to get dressed up and pretend I was going out so that they would have that, think that I weren't in, and then the stepmom would say something and then it would cause an argument on the street.
So did you not want to see your dad?
My dad got a new family.
Okay.
My dad was very toxic anyway, like straight off the bat. My mum and dad split up when I was 3. I saw things I shouldn't have seen as a child, and I remember, what 3-year-old remembers their childhood, unless it's traumatic.
Traumatic. Yeah.
So like that's the thing, and that's what I'm trying to instill with my children. Like the relationship with your father is, for a woman, is paramount. Like, because the things I've done in my adult life, obviously, which I'm sure we'll talk on another time.
Yeah.
Like, is because of my childhood trauma, because of my dad, and I don't want that for my children.
So now we're gonna go into reacting to some real life confessions. So these are like mums that are like, okay, it's my little confession of the evening. Alright, come on, I'm gonna go into it. Sometimes after I drop my kids off at school, I just sit in my car in silence for like 15 minutes. No music, no podcast, just silence. That's my smart day. Have you ever done that before?
I've done that many times. Pulled onto a drive, even like obviously if I've popped out, my kids are older now so they can look after themselves. Like if I've gone to the shop, like, and I pull onto a drive and I just sit there and think, fuck, I don't want to go in. Like, I don't want to know what chaos is like going to entail me. Like, literally, just sit in the car, no music, nothing, and I'm just like, yeah.
I just want to chill.
Yeah.
Just sit there and take a breather.
Because you know, like, as a mum, I can't poo, I can't, nothing. I've either got the kids with me on the job. Like, it is
that much.
Like, yeah, I'm in the bath and like, my kids come in. Like, there is no privacy in my house at all. Like, which is okay. Like, I want my kids to know that this is what a woman looks like and stuff like that. That's cool. But sometimes you just need that just silence.
Yeah.
But then when when I'm on my own, like if they are both at their dads at the same time, which is very rare, but whatever, like I'm like, oh, this kid.
You're like, oh, I'm not used to this. This is a bit weird.
Who can I wind up? Like, who can I come and wind up just to get like a reaction? Yeah. Screaming at each other. Like, but yeah, 100%. Car. Do.
Do that one.
Recommend.
Okay, the grocery store breakdown. One time I cried in the middle of Aldi because my toddler knocked over a display and realised it was the first adult interaction I've had in 4 days. A stranger hugged me. I'm still embarrassed. Oh, bless her.
I do this.
What, crying in Aldi?
No. Yeah. But like, if I see a mum struggling, like I always am like, you're right, like you're doing a good job.
Love that.
Like, in fact, I was actually in Aldi yesterday, and there was a kid kicking off because he wanted spaghetti, and the mum was trying to put it on the conveyor belt, and he was like, I want the spaghetti, I want it, and he was constant. And I was just like, oh, you like spaghetti, do you? Like, I'll try to distract him, and she, like, in the end, she went to me like, thank you. And I was like, girl, I've been there.
Yeah,
like, I've been there. 2 kids screaming, fighting over a piece of like French stick, like, beating each other up, like. No.
Trying to pull your fucking hair out.
Yeah, and in that moment, when that's happening, you feel like everybody's watching you.
Yeah.
Like, you get hot. Like, you honestly, it is unreal. So I want to be that mum that's like, no, girl, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, you're good.
I do it for dad as well, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to just sing white mums, but it's been, I can't go up and hug a man. Like, might get in trouble.
But then also as well, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but have you even ever seen a man in that position? Where they've like wrapped down because they've had to deal with all of that.
I don't think so, but like I think with the men, they again, I think it's probably a stigma thing for men as well. Like they hide it.
Yeah.
Like so, I don't think they'd probably cry in the car.
Yeah.
Because again, men are very
macho.
I'm not allowed to cry, which I think is completely wrong, and that's toxic.
I agree. I totally agree.
Like, cry. I prefer a man to cry. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
If a man was crying in Aldi, I'd be like, mate, come on.
Love it.
Yeah.
Literally. But then also as well, what I find with that is when people are like, oh no, I don't like a man that cries, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, okay, when we say a man that cries, we don't mean a man that falls over and grazes his knee and didn't really get hurt, bawling his eyes out like a little baby. We're not talking a man that doesn't get his own way and then cries like a little bitch. We are talking about actual,
raw emotion.
Raw emotion, like when we cry, when there's obviously, sometimes we can be on our period and we can cry about stuff that's not as big, alright? Fine, you get a set, occasionally. But 9 times out of 10, we're not just crying in front of strangers for no reason.
Yeah.
We aren't doing that shit.
No.
So it's when it's important.
We all have emotion.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like there could have been something that they could have bumped their car on the way out. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it builds up, and then the kids are kicking off, and you're like, oh, that is the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Crap on, you have a cry, mate. I'll pat you back.
you get it without. We're not ashamed to cry.
No.
Yeah, I cry all the time.
I cry all the time.
Literally. It's a good release, I find, anyway.
It's good for your body.
That's what I think. I told someone I was a single mum and they immediately said, don't worry, you'll find someone eventually. Like, my whole personality is just waiting to be partnered again. Mama, I'm busy and booked.
I agree. I agree. I think I've spent a lot of my time as a single mum trying to validate myself in a relationship. It's only now that I've been in the situations I've been in recently that I'm like, do you know what? No, I don't need a man.
Yeah.
What's a man going to bring to me
that you've been doing yourself all the time?
You know what I mean?
Doing.
The only thing men that I've chose, it's not all men, but the men that I've chose, the only thing they bring me is drama, inconsistency. Like, I don't need that. I don't need that for me or my children.
Yeah.
Like, so you keep your opinion to yourself because it ain't wanted with me. Like,
love that.
Nah.
Preach.
Hit it, sister.
Get it. Thank you for tuning in again, guys. This is the end of our episode now, coming to an end. So goodbye to everyone for this week, but we'll see you next week, next Friday, and we're going to be doing toxic again. I know we did toxic before friendships, but now we're going to be doing relationships. So tune in, guys, because we're all a little bit deluded and we've all got a bit of toxic in us. See you next week, guys. Bye.